plant a bunch of different seeds and they'll each be different colors. Are so prolific that sometimes you will even get 2 bloom heads on one flower. After growing tons of plants in my garden each season, today I'm going to share with you 4 that are an absolute must grow for me every year. Hi, it's Steph and welcome back to my channel. So let's get into the plants. The first one is this one right here. This is the Sahara Raspberry Ripple Zinnia. And this is the second year that I've been growing this plant and it is absolutely gorgeous. It is a prolific bloomer. So far, the deer and rabbit have not touched it in my garden. It is drought resistant, and I know that because I've only watered these twice the whole season. We did get some rain, and that's what I relied on to water these. They have a really beautiful color to them. They are a pink zinnia that will then start getting a striping effect, and then they almost look like they're pink and white, which is really cool. They're also really compact. So unlike some of the other zinnia varieties that you grow that can get pretty tall, somewhere from 2 to 4 feet in height, these only get to be 12 to 20 inches in height and in width. So they are perfect for the front of a border or in an application like I have here in the front of my driveway walls. So these have become quickly a must grow for me every year. One packet of seeds gave me all of these plants. Now these zinnias are annuals, which means that once you get your first frost, they will die back and they will not return. So they have to be started each year. And I purchased the seeds for these from Swallowtail Seeds, the Sahara Raspberry Ripple Zinnia, but they are also available on parkseed.com. Now, like I mentioned before, watering was very minimal. It got watered by the weather and by me maybe twice when I initially planted the plant. In terms of additional maintenance, I have gone through about 2 times and deadheaded them, which means you will go through and find any blooms that are past their prime or spent like this, and you will follow the stem down to where it meets its junction and you would cut it. And what that will do is keep your plant producing more buds, which will then give you more blooms and more flowers instead of it signaling the plant to go into seed production, which is what you don't want if you want to keep it flowering. And the next plant that I will grow every year is this one here. Do you see this beautiful, vibrant blue, purple colored plant that I have here? This is the Blue Horizon Ageratum, and this is a beauty. You can see that we are now at the very last weekend of September, and my hydrangeas have started to brown here, and these are still looking gorgeous and vibrant. Now, I will certainly up the production on these next year, and I think I'm even going to grow them in my front walkway as well, because they are stunning. I have done nothing to these except start them from seed, plant them in this area, and that is it. I actually haven't even deadheaded them. I have cut a few stems to use in cut flower arrangements, which I feel that they're also beautiful for because they have such long stems. So I will go ahead and just cut it at the bottom and stick this in with other cut flowers, and they look gorgeous to add a little pop of that blue-purple color, which is stunning. So this is another plant that I will be growing every year because it is so low maintenance, makes a really big impact with this gorgeous, vibrant color. The Blue Horizon Ageratum grows anywhere from 20 to 30 inches in height. I'm 5'4". You can see that most of these are hitting me right around my hip. So they're pretty tall and they're very sturdy. I don't have any supports on these and they're standing really upright. They're also in the front of my border and I get lots of deer in my garden, and I've had a lot of bunnies this year, and the deer and the bunny have not touched them. Now these, like I said, were started from seed. I purchased the seeds from swallowtailseeds.com, and they are just stunning in this beautiful, vibrant purple blue color. And the next one on my list is this beauty here that you've probably heard me go on and on about on my channel before. It is Gomphrena. Now this Gomphrena here is the Atomic Purple by Baker Creek. I have grown this one twice, and I have grown the Snow White last year, which I didn't like quite as much because the white kind of got lost in the shuffle, and I feel like this one is more vibrant. But this is a really beautiful annual to start from seed, super easy, drought tolerant. In my garden, the deer and the bunnies do not touch it, but I have had some of you tell me that the bunnies bother it in your garden. So it really just depends. But I will tell you, bang for your buck, this is it. One pack of seeds gave me enough plants to do this whole stretch of my walkway, and they are prolific bloomers. These will start blooming later, I feel like later in the summer, so somewhere around July. And we are now in the last weekend of September, and look at them. And these will go for probably almost another month until we get our first hard frost. These are stunning, and they have a really unique bloom shape as well. They almost look like a drumstick or lollipop, where they have this round flower, which is different than the other plants that you have in the garden. So they really stand out and make an impact. They also make really great cut flowers. So similar to the ageratum that I've been growing for about 3 years, I've also been growing the gomphrena for 3 years, and both of them make really great cut flowers. The gomphrena here also dries really well. So if you wanted to dry some of these and use them in a vase inside the house, they would be a great plant for that. And some people have even made wreaths out of them, which could be really pretty in the spring with this vibrant color. So I absolutely love gomphrena. I've done nothing to these. They are pretty drought tolerant. I probably watered them twice when I first planted them, similar to the zinnias out by my front walls. And after that, I have never deadheaded them, only when I cut a few stems to use in cut flower arrangements, and I have never fertilized them. This is a pretty sunny area, so all of these are being grown in full sun, and it has been thriving, and I absolutely love this plant. These gomphrena are so prolific that sometimes you will even get 2 bloom heads on one flower. That happened here, and here, and even here. And they also have sort of a papery feel and sound, similar to straw flower. I purchased my seeds from bakercreekseeds.com, which the website is actually called Rare Seeds. But if you are someone who does like to collect seeds, once they start drying towards the bottom of the plant, you'll get blooms that look like this. And it's really easy to collect seeds. They just fall off, and these are all seeds. They do have some chaff on them, which is the coating that you see here. But if you soak these for 24 hours in some water before you sow them into your soil, that will help break down this chaff and aid in germination. And a new to me annual this year that I'm absolutely smitten with and will be growing every year going forward is the Sahara Rudbeckia. Now this is a Rudbeckia that is an annual variety, unlike the yellow one that you see in your gardens at the end of summer. This one does die back at the first frost, but it is gorgeous, and it grows in all kinds of colors, sunset colors, and you'll get some that are singles, some that are roughly doubles, and they're just stunning. So I grew a group of, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 plants here around this hydrangea, and they bloomed for me for a solid 3 months. They are still blooming, but you can see that the blooms have sort of died back a little bit and slowed down, and I still have a couple more coming, but I have been deadheading this one in the last couple of weeks in hopes of getting some more bloom production out of it. So I wouldn't say that this one blooms quite as long as the other 3 varieties that I showed you, but they are well worth it for even 3 months of blooms because they are absolutely stunning. Now, I purchased these seeds from Select Seeds, and they were really easy to start from seed. You get these really large fuzzy blooms and then these gorgeous flowers. They also look really pretty as we head into the end of summer with all of the other warm tone flowers in the garden, like the Rudbeckia, or even with some panicle hydrangea blooms. So if you wanted to make cut flower arrangements, they would also look beautiful in that setting. So they also make really beautiful cut flowers. I just cut some of my gomphrena and ageratum as filler flowers for the base of an arrangement that I'm working on, but I wanted to share with you a bonus flower. This is also one that I will be growing every year, and it is the Bennery's Giant Variety Zinnias. This color happens to be the salmon rose, and you can just see how large and roughly this zinnia happens to be. It actually rivals some of the dahlias that I'm growing in my garden. It is stunning. So if you have never grown zinnias before and you want a really solid, large variety to try, the Bennery's Giant really makes an impact. These 4 plants that I showed you today are really beautiful. They love full sun. super prolific, and they're must grows for me in my garden each year. And they just happen to have been grown from seed, which makes them really affordable to grow a large number of plants for just the cost of a pack of seeds. But many of the varieties that I showed you today, such as low-growing zinnias, ageratum, and even gomphrena, can be found at your nurseries early on in the spring as small plants that you can then transplant into your garden. So tell me, are there any plants that are must-haves in your garden, and any that you've grown that maybe are from seed or from a plant that you love to have around? Let me know in the comments below. Now I am going to go ahead and cut some more beautiful zinnias and dahlias and cut flowers to finish that flower arrangement that I was working on, and I will catch you in the next one.